Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're taking a look at the speed villain restriction characters. So we're going to be facing off Miles Morales with this new uniform with Bullseye. So let's take a look at Bullseye's build before we go into our testing. I have 7 Odin's Mites on him, and I also capped out the stats I could possibly cap out. Additionally, I have a 4-star artifact on him, and I'm using him with the mighty CTP of Rage with the 200 proc. So yeah, we're going to be testing him in Alliance Battle Extreme, and then moving on to Alliance Battle Legends. But yeah, let's get started with Alliance Battle Extreme and see how he performs here. So for Alliance Battle Extreme, he qualifies for 2 restrictions, Speed Villain and Speed Male Human. I think for both the restrictions, Bullseye might be the best option. He has 3 out of 3 cancels for Alliance Battle Extreme, so yeah, he's very versatile for all the seasons. One thing I find is an issue with the Speed Villain restriction is that both the best supports for this restriction are seasonal uniforms. Black Cat and Sin are both paywall seasonal uniforms, and yeah, it makes it difficult for free-to-play player to get the best scores. Alternatively, you can use Green Goblin and like Mystique for example and get decent scores, but it can't compete with the absolute top meta. For Bullseye, the best team would be Black Cat lead with Sin as a support. However, to keep things consistent, I use Green Goblin and Sin so I can use the same team for Miles Morales as well, especially since Miles has a very good lead. Anyways, we're near the end of this run, and it seems like we crossed 16.5 million, and yeah, that's a decent score. But yeah, now we can move on to Alliance Battle Legends. So yeah, starting off with Alliance Battle Legends, with the new changes to the restrictions, Bullseye actually qualifies for 3 new Alliance Battle Legend restrictions: Villain Human, Villain Male, Speed Villain. Now the standout ones are Villain Human and Speed Villain, because Villain Male is most likely Mephisto's domain. But yeah, he has 0 out of 3 cancels for Alliance Battle Legends. It's a bit of a bummer, but you have to heavily rely on your tier 4 striker. But yeah, up until this point I did forget to mention his rotation. The rotation that I used was 6 cancel, 5 cancel, 3 cancel, 4. I also sprinkled in 1 and 2 so my tier 4 skill would load up faster. And also talking about his build, I'd like to mention that he has guaranteed crit rate already in his kit, so Rage is by far the best option for him. But yeah, as we come gradually to the end of this run, it seems like we're barely gonna cross 10 million. It's not a satisfying number that I'm looking for in an Alliance Battle Legend character. But with that run, we conclude our Bullseye testing. Let's move on to the Miles Morales segment. Starting off with his build, this is what his stats look like. With his self-lead, he actually gets more physical attack. But yeah, he's also a part of the Symbiote team-up collection, so for me at least, he gets an additional 5% pierce. On top of all of that, I have a 5-star artifact on him, and I'm also using him with a mighty Rage CTP. There is a lot of room to improve his build, but yeah, now we can move on to testing Miles Morales in Alliance Battle. Again, starting off with Alliance Battle Extreme, Miles Morales qualifies for the exact same restrictions Bullseye qualifies for: Speed Villain, Speed Male Human, and on top of that, he also has 3 out of 3 cancels in Alliance Battle Extreme. Again, just like Bullseye, he is very versatile in Alliance Battle Extreme in every single season. So the rotation that I am using on him is 6 cancel, 3 slight delay cancel, 5 cancel, 4. You can also sprinkle in 1 and 2 to get more hits and also load up your tier 4 and tier 3 skill quicker. So yeah, this new uniform is actually very good, especially because it makes him an insane tier 4 striker for Alliance Battle Extreme and Alliance Battle Legend. However, we all know that he is a seasonal uniform, so yeah, if you did miss the window to pick him up, you have to wait a whole year. That is a big bummer for people who were planning on picking him up. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this run, and it seems like we're going to be falling short of 15 million. Disappointing in comparison to Bullseye. But now we need to move on to the Alliance Battle Legends run. Let's see how he performs there. For Alliance Battle Legends as well, he qualifies for the same exact restrictions as Bullseye. villain human, villain male, and speed villain. But yeah, unlike Bullseye, he does have 2 out of 3 cancels for Alliance Battle Legends, only missing Snare in his kit. Now yeah, talking about his kit, I am using him with a Rage. However, in my opinion, Competition is the best CTP for him. The main reason being he doesn't have guaranteed crit rate. You don't get the best value out of your Rage, so you can say he is at a slight handicap. And talking about handicaps, I'd say the best support for Miles would be Scarlet Spider with his Chasm uniform that makes Chasm a villain. The ideal team for Miles would be Miles lead with Sin and Chasm. And yeah, both the characters we reviewed in this video don't have a VPAT skill. Having a VPAT skill is a privilege, so yeah, it's whatever. Not that big of a deal. But yeah, as we creep towards the end of this run, it seems like we crossed Bullseye's score very comfortably, ending the run with 11 million on the board. Surprised how he performed worse in Alliance Battle Extreme, but better in Alliance Battle Legends. So yeah, without further ado, let's just straight get into the comparison. So yeah, starting off with Alliance Battle Extreme, Bullseye did outperform Miles by almost 2 million, equivalent to 13.2%. And then moving on to Alliance Battle Legends, there Miles ended up outperforming him by a margin of 0.77 million, equivalent to 7.5%. Bringing us to the final verdict for this video. Bullseye has a massive advantage over Miles being a non-seasonal uniform, and on top of that he delivers very strong Alliance Battle Extreme numbers. His biggest weakness is his Alliance Battle Legend score, because he doesn't really have any of the cancels and you basically are forced into tier 4ing him if you want to actually use him in Alliance Battle Legends. So while his Alliance Battle Extreme performance is impressive, the Alliance Battle Legends performance drags his value down. On the other hand, we have Miles with his seasonal uniform, and he has actually decent value. He did seem like he underperformed in Alliance Battle Extreme. However, I did mention that his build wasn't properly optimized. With the competition, I am sure his score would go up noticeably. And more importantly, Miles has insane long-term value, as he can be used as a tier 4 striker. So you can use him in almost any restriction with any of your DPS characters for Alliance Battle. You get around 300 to 400k score using Miles Morales as your striker. That is an insane return on a character. And because he's a part of the Symbiote team of collection, he scales extremely well over time. And unlike Bullseye, he actually shines in Alliance Battle Legends, comfortably outperforming him there. So it really depends on who you have access to. If you already have the Miles Morales uniform, I would say investing in his build, so at least you have an all-round character that you can use as a striker and also use in Alliance Battle. And if you don't have the seasonal uniform for Miles, Bullseye is very good. So yeah, it depends on what circumstance you're at. If you already have the uniform, I would definitely say sticking with Miles. So yeah, as for myself, I think I'm gonna be keeping Bullseye for Alliance Battle Extreme, as he's very consistent there for me. And for Alliance Battle Legends, I'd probably stick with Miles, but I am switching his build out for a competition. And if I am lucky enough during this Black Friday, I am planning on putting a brilliant competition on him, because it's the best CTP for him as a tier 4 striker. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think and which character you guys would pick if you guys were given the option to. But yeah, that's it from me, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.